good and bad, have different meanings, if intended as divine wills, or if instead they are attributed to human behavior. If we were to consider this duality as God's will, then we should take into account also the relative conditions of this timeless dimension. In fact, memory is a product of time. Without time, there is no memory. If the past did not exist, it would not be possible to confront the will and the events of the present with those from the past. Therefore, we could not distinguish and categorize them between good and bad. Without time, any will would only exist as single will, and as such, it would not be comparable. That is God's will. Allegory. On the open ocean, two fishermen meet, each on his own boat, to dispute over their rights to fish in those waters. For hours, they continue to argue, and to hold their ground in their opposing views, as good and bad would. As it gets dark, they both need to return, each to their own shore, and so they start paddling back, while they continue staring at each other, like worst enemies. After some time, and while moving apart, the two tired fishermen closed their eyes for a moment, and lost sight of each other. Suddenly, they could not remember any longer from where to move away. Without a reference of the other, the two stopped moving. They were incapable to recognize that certain direction that can only exist in function of its opposite. The instant in which their memory had failed also became their moment of confusion. Without memory, time, of a place of origin, space, the two no longer had a direction, movement. In stability, those two were like one. In one divine dimension, without time, space, and movement, the two concepts, good and bad, do not exist. In God's will, all is part of one same idea. Instead, inside the universe, where time, space, and movement coexist, also the perceptions of good and bad exist. As for the law of attraction, good and bad are spontaneously attracted, but with different intents. Good wants to unite, to coexist. Bad instead wants to unite, to possess. They are both the instruments of one same mechanism.